Again, thank you so much for joining us here on Idaho Today. The Peregrine Fund is a local nonprofit focused on conserving birds of prey worldwide, but they're right in our backyard. And while they recently partnered with a local brewery to create a red IPA being released this week to support environmental education at the World Center for Birds of Prey. We're going to begin here with Tate, though, representing the World Center for Birds of Prey. We're going to catch up with you, Carrie, here in just a moment, because somebody over here is a chatty Cathy, and we need to know who you brought today. Who is this?
Sure, I brought Star, an adult female peregrine falcon, 4 years old. And the peregrine falcon is one of the fastest creatures on planet Earth and is one of the greatest conservation success stories of all time.
Absolutely, right? It's kind of our badge of pride here with the World Center for Birds of Prey. Really quick though, how fast is this bird clocked in a dive?
Well, there was an experiment back in '05 where a peregrine falcon dove at 242 miles an hour.
242 miles an hour. That's a speeding bullet through the air. It's absolutely incredible.
It's incredible.
Yes, okay. And really quick, tell us about that success story in regards to this bird and the Peregrine Fund and why the fund exists.
Sure. Back in 1970, just 39 pairs of peregrine falcons existed in the lower 48 United States, and they were all west of the Mississippi. The peregrines were gone from the eastern seaboard. And the Peregrine Fund started as a project of Cornell's Lab of Ornithology in Ithaca, New York. And we were a falcon breeding project, and the idea was to raise the falcons and prevent their extinction, which is what happened. Over the ensuing 20, 30 years, we raised 4,000 peregrine falcons, released them all over North America, also in Europe, and the peregrine falcon recovered.
Okay, and this exists, as mentioned, in our own backyard here in Idaho, this world impact. So we should be so proud and so excited to be a part of this, because this is just a great example of how you're able to save potentially other birds of prey as well, right?
The mission of the Peregrine Fund is a conservation of birds of prey worldwide. There's 569 species about all around the world, and they all fall under our mission of conservation. We've got to save them all. A lot of them are doing okay, but 52% of raptor species are in decline globally.
Okay, and they're incredibly important to our ecosystem. This is all incredible stuff that you can learn, by the way, by going and visiting the World Center for Birds of Prey. And that's not the only way that you can actually support the World Center for Birds of Prey either, because Western Collective's getting involved. You guys have actually gone as far as creating a Birds of Prey series. Let's talk about the first one that you're releasing. This is a red IPA, right?
Yes, it's a red IPA. We decided to start working with the Birds of Prey. I was lucky enough to get to go to fall flights last year and get to witness what happened. And, you know, I'd heard about it. We've lived in Idaho for about 4 years, my wife and I kept seeing it on the map. I was like, I wonder what happens out there, and had no idea. And a friend invited us to fall flights, and we went, and it's so awesome because you got birds flying right over your head.
Yes.
And, you know, anything from owls to, what's the falcon you have out there right now that's flying?
Lanner falcon.
Lanner falcon, which is really cool. We went back 2 weeks ago, which was awesome. And so we got to go see that and take part in that activity. And I'm really passionate. One of the coolest things to me about living in Idaho is looking at all the falcons and raptors and owls in our backyards, and just traveling and getting to see them everywhere. And it's just such a cool experience.
It is.
And, you know, we try to partner with local organizations we're really fans of, and they kept coming up as somebody we really want to start working with. So we reached out and started working with the Peregrine Fund, and we're going to do a full-time Birds of Prey series. So we're going to do 4 beers a year.
4 beers a year. That's fantastic.
So the first one we're doing is being released this week. It is our red IPA. So it's the Peregrine.
Look at the beautiful art,
Yeah, it's got the
too.
Peregrine Falcon on it. So
Yeah,
this
look
is
at
the
that.
first one.
So
and every
cool.
different beer we're going to do is going to have a different falcon on it. So the next one we're going to do is going to have a gyrfalcon. Gyrfalcon, right?
Correct.
Cool, awesome.
He's even learning.
Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic.
And that one's going to come out in January, and it's going to be a porter. So gyrfalcons are Arctic falcons. That's about my whole knowledge of gyrfalcons, other than they're beautiful.
But you're learning along with this
I'm learning a
partnership
lot
as well,
about it, yeah.
Which is fantastic. Let's go ahead and crack open one of these red
Cool.
IPAs.
Yeah.
Because we want to encourage people to not only go out to the World Center of Birds of Prey, support by participating, seeing these fall flights, seeing these birds in person, seeing Star right in person. But also when they go and they enjoy this beverage, part of this is also going back to the World Center, right?
Yes. So we're going to do 10 cents a pint, so that way if it's on draft or in package, either way, 10 cents a pint is going to support the World Center for Birds of Prey.
Wonderful.
And, you know, you're going to be able to pick it up either at Western Collective, Western Proper, Albertsons, Whole Foods, Winco, Fred Meyer. This beer is going to all the grocery stores, and then there's going to be other bars and restaurants around town carrying the product as well.
Wonderful.
And this weekend, we are also having a tasting out at the World Center for Birds of Prey during their fall flights, assuming the weather is cooperative, considering it snowed this morning.
Great. Yes, I know, right? But there is a release event, so it's a great opportunity to marry both of these together at the same time. You get to sample the beverage, and you get to, most importantly, learn about the World Center for Birds of Prey and have some of that education. So where do people go to learn more so they can make sure that they can come out and be a part of this?
So first of all, come out and visit us at the World Center for Birds of Prey. We host over 4,000 students a year on free field trips. We've been hosting field trips for over 30 years.
Yes.
And we're just proud to partner with Western Collective to bring our community together to support education.
Wonderful. All right, everyone, as mentioned, come on out, support. Beautiful to see partnerships like this. And it's so wonderful also to celebrate such an incredible resource that we have here. As mentioned, a world impact all in our own backyard. Everyone, stick around because coming up after the break, and thank you to Star. Look at that beautiful bird. All right, everyone.